So I'm going to get a saddle tree now for you and actually show you what it looks like on a horse's back. And I'm also going to discuss with you a little bit more about how each horse has its own individual back profile. And they do. If you think about it, when you look at horses, they differ from breed to breed, from, you know, height, from even within breeds, they can differ enormously. You can have horses with tall withers, short withers, long withers. We can have backs that slope downhill, that are level, uphill in profile. We can have vertebrae, which are really broad, especially with native bred horses. So their spine is actually quite broad in itself. We can have horses with low withers, medium withers, high withers. And that's just the skeletal structure so far. Then when we start to think about the breadth of a horse's back, we can have horses that are more hoop-shaped or barrel-shaped with low withers. We can have horses, and that might be like a native horse or quarter horses or Arabs, even some warm bloods can be quite hoop in shape. Or we can have horses that are more A-frame in shape. So that's this shape here all the way through their back. They're more A-frame in the pitch, a bit like the roof of a house. And that's thinking about like off-the-track thoroughbreds and things like that. So each horse has its own individual back profile. They also have different lengths of their back through to T18. So from where her scapula finishes through to the last rib. Bella's been standing for such a long time. She's been so patient. She's like, please, she's the quietest horse. We love her to pieces. She's wonderful. So not only does the length differ, we can have horses with really short backs. We can have horses with really long backs. We can have horses that are long through the loin area here or short through the loin. The other thing that's really important when we consider saddle design and pressure and how stable a saddle is going to be is where the scapula lines up with the horse's girth groove. Now, a horse's natural girth groove is this little flat spot in behind the elbow, and you can actually look down underneath and you can actually see there's a flat area which is perfect to have your girth. Now, some horses, a bit like Bella, she's got a tiny little itty-bitty pony-shaped one. Okay, so it's right in, jammed up behind her elbow. It's really skinny. There's not a lot of room for a girth in there. When you think about where a saddle needs to sit, a saddle needs to sit in behind a horse's scapula. That scapula has got to move backwards and forwards with every stride underneath your tree point. So that's a hard, rigid area of your saddle. We need to make sure that the saddle is sitting behind the scapula so that the back of the scapula, all the cartilage in here, is not being affected. And there has been so much research done and unfortunately showing how much damage that cartilage actually gets from incorrectly fitted saddles. And it's quite a shame. We've done horse dissections as well as part of our work as saddle fitters, and the cartilage gets eaten away by the saddle trees by impact all the time of that scapula banging up against the front of the tree. So we have to get the shape here right for the horse. The problem can be though, when we're looking at a horse's girth groove, if we want to sit a saddle back here, often if we've got a horse with big shoulders and a forward girth groove, your saddle might be all the way back here because the scapula's back here and your girth groove's right in front. So that's actually a really difficult situation for us to try and keep a saddle stable. So this is starting to give you just a little glimpse into the fact that horses each have their own individual back profile. And it takes some thought as to what kind of saddle design is going to enable you to spread your weight evenly over the greatest surface areas we can, so we reduce the amount of pressure on muscles and joints. So let me get a saddle tree and I'll show you a little bit more about how that's going to affect the structures of the horse.